right now, and then okay, it's filming now.
Seen one guy cut a lawnmower blade in half with a torch using nothing but
one of those.
Hydrogen.
I have two sets of extra pliers, and like I said, you can use. I don't know necessarily you'd have to. It's just a lot easier, but definitely a multi-tool.
Yeah.
would work perfectly fine for this. Because the real secret. Okay, well, let's first talk about where you're going to place the snare. Now, obviously, snares are good for squirrel, groundhog, or rabbits, mainly rabbits is what we're looking at. But you're going to want to put it on a game trail where you know they're coming through. But the key to that is, and the way I've watched it done, you got to cut a branch or a bough and put over the top of that trail, and basically you're creating a funnel. And then you take some sticks that you cut up and push into the ground or pound into the ground to funnel the game into the snare.
Right.
Because if that snare's there and they can go around it,
They'll go around it, yeah.
But if that's their normal game trail, they're going to try to go through there. It doesn't, like 2 feet on each side of it, if you make basically a wall using branches and stuff, make it hard for them. It would be harder to go that way than it would be down the trail, then they're going to go down the trail. So that's the key to funneling them into the trail itself. So I'm going to get a piece off of here.
Might get smoked out now.
I'll set these pliers down here and give you guys a set. You guys gonna use.
I got my multi-tool, so I should be able to use it.
They're a little big, like I said. Now, I watched this on YouTube. I mean, I had tried to do it before. Funny the little tricks that you learn. Now, if you just make a standard loop and you want to make it big enough to get your fist through, and then you're going to take this in and you're going to wrap it around, so you're kind of making a hangman's loose out of it. Okay? Actually, hold on. I lied to you. Stop there. First of all, take your end here and loop it like that. Can everybody see that? You're kind of making this. Okay? And then kind of tie that, take your end and wrap it around.
kind of like a fish hook.
Yeah, kind of like that right there. Just make a circle. Okay? Now, if you ran your other end through that, in essence, you got a snare, right?
Mm-hmm.
Problem with this design here is it will loosen up. If the animal turns the right way, it will loosen up. Now, they make all kinds of things to help hold this wire once it gets down there and hold it in place, but the easiest thing I saw was go ahead and pull your wire back out and make it straight again, like this. Now here you got to be a little careful. Run your fingers about halfway up through the loop itself, like this. And what we're going to do is you're going to make a figure 8. You're going to turn the top a couple times and make a figure 8. See this? See that? See the figure 8? Okay. Now I got a pencil. You can use a sharpening stick or anything, but it helps to kind of stick it in there and just round it out a little bit so that your figure 8 holds the shape.
Are you pushing down here though?
Now you're grabbing.
Look in the center
Right,
of it.
you're gonna have to make this a little bit bigger. Make this a little bigger.
What if I made an 88?
Okay. You're gonna wind this up. Now you're gonna make the figure 8 using this loop up here.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So you're just gonna kind of squish it down, twist it, and twist it a couple times. Okay, and then use your pencil to make it round. Okay. Now again,
Now, how many times did you turn your center?
it really don't matter. As long a couple times is fine.
Is that too big?
No. Now with your other end, Your other end we haven't done anything with. Make a loop big enough that we're going to be able to get this end back through pretty easy. I'd say make it big enough, let's say maybe 2 fingers. Okay, this is the end you haven't done anything with yet. Okay, just make that at the other end. You got your figure 8 there, you got this at the other end. Just a round loop, just kind of like we made before we twisted our figure 8. Everybody got that?
No cheating in the classroom.
Alright, so what you got now, alright, just get everybody up to speed. You got a figure 8 at this end, and you got a loop at this end.
Right.
Everybody got that?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, now take this end, the end we just did, not your figure, kind of smash it down because we're going to thread that through that figure 8.
You're getting sewing class now, Pete.
Which part
Okay.
of the figure 8?
Alright, hold on. Take your figure 8 now. Alright, everybody got their end smashed down?
Yeah.
Take your figure 8 and kind of bend it back over itself, so when we thread this through,
Oh, I guess
we're going to thread it through both of them.
All right, I see.
Okay? See how it is?
Are we coming up from the bottom?
Yeah.
Double loop.
Okay.
Okay? Now, in essence, we got the snare, okay, here. Here's your snare. Now what we're going to do, and you got to play around with this to get the right feel for it. If you straighten that figure 8 back out, straighten it back out flat now. Okay, see how I did that? Flatten it back out.
This is the way it was before you bent it.
Right before I bent it. Now, open that snare up, and you're going to find, see, it's a little bit difficult.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, put that around your wrist, and give it a good pull.
Todd's already getting hurt.
Yes. Just when we get the hospital.
But, okay, notice this. There's no loosening up.
Yeah, I see that.
It won't loosen up at all.
Yep.
You gotta, okay? So it doesn't loosen up. Now you gotta kind of play around, you know, like I said, to get it off, just take your figure 8 and move it a little bit until it loosens up. But you gotta kind of find the right point of friction there to what's not gonna give back and still slide easy.
Right.
And that's just kind of a judgment thing. Now, here's another thing we're going to do. The snare has to be secured to something to keep the animal from running off with it. So this is why we got this loop at this end. Open your loop back up over here. Okay, on your non-snare end. Kind of bend your snare down just a little bit and push it back through that loop. And look what you get. You tie this off to a stick or whatever to keep it there.
Right, so you can't get away.
So it can't get away. Take your
The
snare end and loop it through that other loop.
Okay, got it.
Okay? And loop it through there.
There you go.
That, if my finger was a stick, what I tied was basically a half hitch on my finger.
Yeah.
Okay? Or the stick to hold it. Now you're not going to want a lot of room between the snare and the actual tie-off point, because you don't want him flopping around all over the place and having a lot of room to move. So even if that's a little bit big, you have to adjust it. Just wrap it around the anchor pole a few times. And what they normally say for size of snare is a fist, 4 fingers to a fist, is what you're looking for a rabbit. Okay? So put your fist in there. We're looking at a hole about that size right there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I had a stick, what do I do with that stick?
Some right back here if you need some.
Well, let's just say that this,
We're in the woods and you can't stick.
that this is my tie-off stick. I just wrap this around here a few times, okay? If that's hanging above it, he comes through there, boom, it tightens, and it does not, with that figure 8, it does not loosen back up. No matter how you jiggle, the more you jiggle, the tighter it gets. But without that figure 8, it will loosen back up.
Right, they'll get
so
away.
that's what, but basically, It's learning that figure 8 and learning where the friction point is to where it slides the easiest but won't back off.
Very nice.
That is very slick.
And you set about 20 of these, truthfully, and even if you get 2 out of 20 that get the hit in a day, that's 2 rabbits a day.
That's plenty to feed you,
yeah.
Well, the good part about that's working for you while you're doing something else.
Exactly. And once you get them made up, you can have them pre-made.
Yeah, you can have them, like you said, pre-made and put in your bag all the time. You just get them out and set them up.
And like I said, now I don't know about the legal to go out and set snare traps right now or not, but in a survival situation.
Yeah, shit hit the fan situation. It's not
obviously.
going to matter.
So I guess it would have to, you would have to.
My garden.
Gophers or groundhogs?
I don't know what
Groundhog.
groundhogs. Whatever it is.
Let me make a friend here tonight. You need to let your husband buy one of those 22 pellet guns.
It means he can get rid of that
so he
freaking
can,
thing in my garden.
So he can
in West Virginia,
how'd that work? Pretty good? You owe me one?
You can kill them, there's no season. You can
You owe me one for that? I actually had that one stuck on my hand because I couldn't get into the figure 8. But only thing I've noticed, once in a while your edges, you'll get a poke off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Todd done did that. He's bleeding over here.
Sit in the chair while you're watching TV and just kind of play around making that. And what you're going to find is the more you make it, the easier it is. But you got to find just that right position to where it slides easy,
but won't unlock.
And what it is the flatter you make it, the harder it is to
The tension.
Mm-hmm.
The more you fold it back over top itself, the easier to slide. But if you fold it back too far over itself, then it will loosen up.
Right.
So you got to find just that kind of right butterfly position to where it's not going to back off, but it'll still slide easy enough if a rabbit will get his head stuck in there.
Oh, Tom, I was thinking about your pack last week.
Mm-hmm.
Duct tape and a little bit, some wire, and in case, like, a lot of times the reason you're down is because your muffler's falling off your truck, your car.
Oh, like a coat hanger wire.
Yeah.
Wire.
Yeah, some type
I'll
of
tell you
wire
what,
type
I'll tell you a
something.
good multi-purpose wire, electric fence wire. It's dirt cheap.
Yeah.
You can bend it easily with your hands, and it's pretty tough stuff.
Yeah, it's really tough.
So that would be probably a good little
Another
trick.
thing, either garbage bag or something you can put a lot of water in, a couple gallons of water. Because a lot of times you have a radiator hose, duct tape radiator hose, you got to go find water and clean or something.
Yeah.
That's true.
Anybody got any questions about the snares? You can buy a roll, and this wire's a little thin. Let me show you. I think for a rabbit it would be fine. Anything bigger than that, maybe even a groundhog.
I think it was a groundhog.
Yeah, it doesn't have quite, I mean,
You could probably use
it broke pretty easy, but, and the more you bend it, I think the more it'll break. But
Put stretch points in it.
this is one of the thinner ones. You can get thicker. The only thing is if you go, like I tried it with the electric fence wire, it's just a little too thick. It doesn't seem like it slides as good. So I forget what size. This might be like 0.25 or something. So, but you can get a whole roll of this. I think it's 25 yards. You get 25 yards or 25 feet for like $2.30 or something.
Where did your roll at?
Walmart.
Walmart, okay.
Yeah. It's picture hanging wire.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Cool.
Now you know how to make a
Snare.
snare. And like I said, it makes